People that I know, when they park here, they say, have you noticed your walls leaning?
This is going to take not too much longer before this wall actually falls down. And if kids are standing here, someone's going to get hurt. He should have used a much stronger and better system. This is not going to work. This has now become extremely unsafe. There is nothing I can salvage here.
I don't think he'd ever put a wall up before.
This is a rather big job, and because it was done wrong in the first place, here we go again. Mike Holmes, did they actually do this way?
No, look at it. Numbers. You want to go jump in GPM shape? I'll be a contractor. I love my job.
My daughter and I were living in a very small apartment, and we were desperate to move, so we moved in here, and it's worked out okay. And it had a 40-year-old wooden wall, and I knew when I moved in I had to replace it because it was starting to crumble. I guess I got about 5 quotes. I chose the fellow that I chose because everybody recommended him.
Nancy's owned this house for many years now, and she figured it was about time to take down that retaining wall that's been there since 1956. A little rotten, a little unsafe.
The crew that he brought in were fabulous, easy to get along with. They were always here first thing in the morning. Sometimes they worked right up until it got dark. And when they finished, it looked beautiful, but didn't last long.
Nancy!
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this bright, sunny
great.
day?
Thank you so much for coming. The fence immediately started to warp. The gate wouldn't close. And then the following year, the wall started to lean. This is where the problem started.
One thing we don't want to do is build a retaining wall that is really over 3 feet. We're almost 4 feet here.
Yeah.
So this is no good. This design of this block is a maximum 36 inches in height. We don't want to take it to a maximum. It's like taking your stereo and turning up full blast. We don't want to blow the speakers. We can see right here in this corner, it stayed fairly well, didn't it? And as we continue to go down the wall, it starts to bulge out. And what it's doing is sliding out. It's leaning out. And it's actually going to fall at that end, big time.
I can see it actually moving on a daily basis at this point. Like there's much more gap now than there was a week ago.
Even here, this just drives me insane.
I have a large group of children that like to climb on it, and the school is right behind, so they come and they walk along. And I hate to be a grouch and tell them to get off.
And the worst part is this is going to come down, the fence is going to come down, and if kids are standing here, someone's going to get hurt, especially if they're on top of it. He doesn't care about the client, and he doesn't care about the kids in this neighborhood. Shame on him. Okay, first of all, this style of block is an interlock on the back, right? So we see that it'll interlock on the back and lock it in place. It has pushed so far forward that it's breaking the lock on the bottom row here and come up over it, which means it's going to take not too much longer before this wall actually falls down. And we see it separating because the wall has come out. We see it separating, pulling away from the other blocks. And this is a great example as to how far this has come forward. This has come forward probably, I'm going to guess about 8 inches. This was really set back. It was probably tight to the fence at one time. Yeah. So now that this is falling forward, the ground is dropping and bringing the fence forward, but he didn't cement anything in, not even the corner post here. The 4x4s are not cemented in the ground. It's my guess they're not even far in the ground. He's got it 6 feet out of the ground, 4 feet, that's 10 feet. Not allowed. This has now become extremely unsafe.
Yeah.
Extremely unsafe. I'm really actually worried about this is going to fall sooner than I can get in here.
Well, the first time I called him, he called me right back. I said, you've got to come and look at the wall. It's moving. He said, there's no way it's moving. And then I guess I called him about 20 times. Never called him back until a week ago. He's heard that you're coming.
Oh, how did he hear that?
Oh, from his friends.
Okay.
Yes, and he accused me of whining. He said that I shouldn't complain because this kind of work only gets a 1-year warranty. And I said, well, that's ludicrous. I mean, how would I build a wall like that every year? Click. He hung up just like that.
Is that the way to do this? Every 2 years you got to pay $10,000 for a new wall? I don't think so.
I don't actually have a bill.
You pay cash?
Yes.
No paper trail?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad contractor. He wasn't out to take her money. He's trying to run a business. He's just not qualified.
I think he'd never put a wall in before. I didn't know that at the time. Guess he just dug it up and threw it in.
This is unfortunate. There is nothing I can salvage here. The fence has to come down, the wall has to come down. We're going to excavate tons of earth. We're going to bring in some really talented people on this one, plus all my guys, and we're going to do this real quick and 100% properly. We'll show you how it should have been done. All right?
I trust you. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to build it right. I'm going to walk away and know it's safe. Simple as that. We're actually going to fill this whole area with 3/4 crush. Whole lot of stone. This has now become extremely unsafe. The fence has to come down, the wall has to come down. I'm really actually worried about this is going to fall sooner than I can get in here. Well, it's supposed to rain today, so we're going to have to pick up the pace a bit and take this down. You ready?
Always ready.
We're going to drop all the fencing and put it over there. We'll set up for the saws.
We're not salvaging any of this.
Yes, I am.
So we're leaving the whole fence together. We're just taking the sections down.
Yeah, none of this is... I mean, he's got nothing in here. No stone, no nothing.
That's really bad. Oh, man. You know, these fence clips are held in with 1 1/4 screws. I think once we just pop the first one, just loosen up each other one, they should just start falling right off.
The main culprits here is water and wind. There is no stone, there's no drainage for the water, so the water will be absorbed by the earth, freeze in the winter, push this wall out, not to mention the wind blowing against this fence, pushing the wall out. Yeah, this one holds nothing. Well, first of all, these blocks are using the wrong case. They're too small. That's the problem, they're too small. Let's take a really good look at this. Look at the back lip. Very small, very thin back lip. It's not meant to hold up a major weight load, again, based on proper drainage, wind, fence. This really shouldn't be over 2 feet. You can go up to 3, but you've got to be on the money to do it right. For me, instead of throwing these out, I will take them, I will reuse them on another job. I'll just take them and stockpile them. What we're looking at is we have a conduit line with electricity in here that ran around the property. We'll have to be cautious of this. It is live, I'm damn sure of it. Yeah, it's live, that's the line there. It just comes through the ground. We'll just have to work around it, no big deal. We have telephone, we have cable running parallel to both sides of this post. Shouldn't be able to pull that out. Well, it just shows massive inexperience here. What we have is a simple 4x4, only 2 feet in the ground, which will do absolutely nothing. A little bit of concrete around it. In time, all it's going to do with A, wind, because it's not secured in enough, it's just going to push this fence over, lean against the wall. Also, B, in the winter, when it starts to freeze, that's going to push against the wall, and it's a matter of time before this wall actually falls down. Let's just talk about the excellent drainage that I don't see. We do see stone at the bottom down here, but what I want to see is I want to see stone all the way up. We've got to create a drainage bed from this point, cut in on an angle, so the water does come below it, it allows it to drain off.
You can't really do a nice fence and then leave this.
No, I don't like this. You know what, let's just get the jackhammer, smash all this out, let's take the stairs out, let's take the paving out, let's take all the curbing out, and we'll get them all new interlock. We'll surprise her. This one's on me. I'm going to put the earth on the road temporarily just so we can keep some work happening here. Later on when the bin comes, we'll make sure we load it up and get rid of it. We still got to hand dig this, but I'm worried about digging it now. There's no sense. We'll have to do it in the morning. It's going to pour. Might even have to call it a day soon. We worked pretty damn good yesterday. However, the clouds opened up and we had a whole lot of rain. We have the base stone for everything underneath, and again underneath all the interlocking stone that we're going to put up. This here is the base and the base alone. This will be underneath the complete wall all the way around. So we have a lot of stone. This is the first of 3 loads. We have 2 more loads coming. We have 10 ton coming tomorrow. We're actually going to fill this whole area with 3/4 crush. So all it does is allow drainage of the water to go through the weeper. With that, no water, no freezing, no push. We backfill with probably 10 ton of 3/4 crush for drainage. It's one hell of a lot of stone. One hell of a lot of earth that's got to leave from here and go somewhere else. This is what we call hay gravel. It's our base. I'm just trying to jump on it here. Time's just flying away. Lo and behold, we found a gas pipe. So I'm really glad that we're digging this by hand and not a backhoe. Yeah. And this is another reason why I'll choose on a corner property like this to dig it by hand, is so we don't hit that line. I don't know. I'm getting a little worried here. I may have to change the wall design. I just don't want to risk digging a hole 4 or 5 feet deep and hitting that gas line. So Nancy, how you doing today?
Fine, thanks, Mike, thanks.
So we have a couple of changes here that I'm thinking of, and I didn't know the gas line was here. It was marked out front, but not out back. Right. And it is right beside, in a row within 3 feet, the gas line, the telephone, and the cable. And to take a risk of digging 8 to 10 post holes here at that depth, you know, it's just, I don't know, I can't see it working. So what I'd love to do, I just want to continue up with a cobblestone at about 3 feet. And what that's going to do is give it a really nice look within the back, give you more backyard, and then we don't have to dig any posts within the area of the pipes, again, over here as well. What do you think?
Well, it'll look beautiful.
Well, I'll get to it then.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. Lo and behold, we found a gas pipe. I don't want to mess with gas at all. Now, we're going to build a fence out of stone. And then we don't have to dig any posts within the area of the pipes. We can see, obviously, these are a lot bigger. They're 12 inches deep, 17 inches long, 7.5 inches high, a much stronger interlock. This is what was needed. I think we have enough of this stuff, that's for sure. I think we're building a house. That's one hell of a lot of stone. Stone, stone, stone. Oh, God. This is what I call a very little big retaining wall. Because it's not that big, but the job is huge. Well, now that we've wetted a bit and tamped it, it's extremely hard. You know, it's just an idea. It's just like a concrete base. Works very well. Bit by bit, we'll add some more, continuing to wet it, continuing to tamp it down. If we were to just throw the stone in, tamp it down, and put the block down, it would go like this. Because we didn't level it. This is honestly a nice, ingenious method of doing this, is where we just put in 2 steel pipes in the ground, and we use a leveled edge. In this case, we can use this. So it rides across the leveled edge and leveling, really, the whole area. You just do that in spaces as you go, and it's on the money. Terry's here making sure that we do everything to the engineered plan, because this is really a fairly big job. It's not a small one.
By spending a couple hours leveling your base, then you're not monkeying around trying to level each and every block individually. It's a little bit of prep time in advance, but it saves you a lot of time and gives you a much better quality job when you're done. Everything is going to be perfectly level, clean, and it'll look awesome at the end of the job.
Just the way I like it. We're going to be placing the wall in the exact same spot it was before. This works out easy, and we won't be moving it an inch. Let's just see where we're going to end up. We use the string from one end to the other to guarantee that once we run a straight line, we do not bump into the sidewalk, and we're precisely where we want to be, a couple inches away from the curb for backfill. We're on the money. We're going to continue laying the bottom rows down, step it up, level it out, continue the whole bottom. Once the bottom's in place, we will backfill everything. Well, if we didn't screed this, in other words, level it, to the best of our ability with the A-gravel, it could take an awful long time. This way, we're just adjusting. The most important is the bottom row. Once the bottom row's in, this stuff flies like we're building a little block wall with the Lego. And the reason we want to fill the bottom course with the A-gravel is simply because water will not sit within the A-gravel. So we fill the complete bottom course with the A-gravel, and what that's going to do is force the water up into the weeping. We're going to cut up this fabric so we can get a stoppage on the bottom. The idea is the fabric comes underneath, up, and protects all earth from washing through the wall, which we don't want to see.
This means that you have absolutely no possibility of the fine particles in the soil coming in and clogging your drain tile.
I love it. Well, that's why we took our time yesterday. Now we can fly today. I love this product. Rather than seeing the back lock, the front locks. And I like that because now we can take that, lock it completely at the front, and that stops any type of push whatsoever. It's a much stronger lock. Way to go. Way to go. That works. The most important thing we have to do with this wall, and any wall you do, is make sure we have a water drainage system. By using the weeping tile, the fabric, and stone, we are going to make sure that water escapes where it's supposed to. So we're going to backfill all this with rock. That fabric then comes up to the top plate of the wall. What that does is protects everything to do with the wall and allows total drainage. One thing we want to make sure of is not only are we going to give a nice 3/4 inch draining bed on the other side with the weeper, we also want to fill the retaining wall. Why? It gives us more structure on top of our footing underneath, more weight load. It's not going to go anywhere. We fill every single course to this grade.
These are free-floating blocks meant to just sit on one another, but hey, I don't think it hurts to put glue in there, too.
Hey, you must be Mike.
Yeah, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, buddy. So you're our professional paver layer, and you're going to maybe give me a hand with some of this here?
I think I can help you out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need it, believe me. We're 3/4 or so done this job. Most of it is now just trying to clean up and get ready.
It's a pretty grand job you have here. It's a really high wall, but this part of it here is pretty straightforward.
Very last block going in. This wall used to be the wall of shame, and today it will be the wall of fame.
Oh, God. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Well, it's a little different.
Yeah, a little.
Let's start with this area.
Wow.
Once I started the wall, I couldn't leave your backyard.
I know, it's absolutely stunning. Wow.
Actually fixed your whole front porch.
Wow.
Get it nice and neat, simple, just cap the
love
post, just to
this
give it a
stuff.
cedar look, eh?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Nice
Oh,
and
and they close that in.
Yeah, we give you a little fence here.
Yeah.
I love the fence detail here.
It's amazing.
I just love the flower bed. What do you think?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
You had your landscaper in and he did the flowers. That looks great, eh?
Yeah.
Great job. And I'm so happy we went with this cobblestone wall on top. Just for the look on the inside. It looks really good. I like it. From the backyard, you look out. It's short. It's sweet. From the outside, it's safe. It's the way it should be. Let's take a walk around, take a look outside.
Sure.
Come on out here.
I love that. It's just beautiful.
You guys are just cleaning up the end down here now. It's been a while cleaning up, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know.
What is your enemy on a retaining wall? Winter. Why? Water comes in, freezes, and pushes. Not to mention the 6-foot sail, or should I call it a fence, that was on top of that, pushing the wall out with the wind. They were not cemented in place. They were not deep enough. So when it comes down to it, everything was wrong. Not one thing was right, except for when he was finished, it looked right. Remember, looks receiving. This is everything.
Yeah.
Proper drainage, which is really going to keep your wall at bay. Once we started building the wall, we gave you about 3 feet of 3/4 crush drainage within there, so it weeps down to the weeping tile here, which will bring everything from that side, all the property, everything, and drain it out here,
Right,
which is going to come this way anyway.
Yes,
so let's
it does.
control it and bring it out. My object here is not to point fingers. I'm proud of my work. We've made it beautiful. We've made it safe. So for me, number one, no kids are going to get hurt on this wall.
Yeah,
number
it's safe
one.
and it's not coming down. It's not.
Oh, let's try and push it together.
No, yeah, right. No, I don't think so.
It ain't going anywhere. I think we have approximately 40 to 50 ton of stone here. Wow. This is going to outlast the house, outlast the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and probably will
Probably
be
us,
here
yeah.
when our kids are grown and they have kids.
Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful, though, doesn't it?
Works for me. I hope it works for you.
It does. It's beautiful. Thank you, Mike.
You're so welcome.
Boy.
I have to be able to sleep at night. I cannot take from people. I cannot steal from people, and I'm not going to do anything I don't know how to do. This is my payment. Oh, you're welcome. It's
beautiful.
You're welcome. Bottom line here, all I want to do is elevate the industry. All I want to do is inform the public. And if you want your job done right, you hire the right guy, the professional. As usual. This one was not easy.
Fun.
Good job. Good job.
See you, Green.
All right. We have a good weekend, brother.